Alibaba has been a game changer.
We need to grow internationally, and we would never have that opportunity if we did not have this platform.
Taking your products into the Alibaba platform was a natural next step to go global.
Get to the fun part of this webinar, which is our interview with Denny Haag from Strategic Visionary Solutions. Dennis, I'm going to pass it over to you now. Please introduce yourself to the audience. Tell us about Strategic Visionary Solutions.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be talking to you. My background is I've had like 40 years of experience with equipment worldwide, from the Department of Defense, from governmental, from R&D work, in a multitude of other areas. And we purchased a lot of gear, a lot of different things. And one of the sticking points that was always a problem was the coatings. The paints and the coatings were always terrible. But it was what was out there, what the chemistry bought us. And we always had to kind of live with it, thinking that, you know, is there something better? Well, one thing leads to another. And I met with an inventor that had said these fantastic things on these coatings, and I got working with him, and I loved what I saw, so much so that I actually started becoming a distributor, and I actually bought into owning part of the plant, and started to market as a venture outfit, bringing this to market. So we started in 2014. I started the business up, and we have expanded where we started selling regionally within the Great Lakes area of the North America, and we've slowly been expanding out. We're independents. We basically pay as we go, and so our market's tight. And for us to get out there and to advertise, it takes a lot of effort to try to get the reach where you're trying to, you know, market a new product. So we've found that advertising for us is very important, you know, getting the word out that we have a superior product, and that has been the crux of why we ended up going to Alibaba, why I went to that way. We started going into the pandemic. And when we went into the pandemic, we couldn't reach customers. We weren't allowed locally here to go and knock on the door, do product demos and the like. And we found that our electronic media, our electronic marketing, our advertising, that was going to be the key to survival. And if we were going to keep going and to get this fantastic product out, we better get outreach where we could reach more customers, more of the world, so to speak. And that's what we did. I started with Alibaba. Actually, within, I think, about 30 to 90 days, my first sales, we started shipping to China and some other countries, and it hasn't stopped. I have shipped product. I've got a pallet with a skid ready to go to Iceland, pick up on Monday. We've shipped to Romania, Brazil, Mexico, Canada, China, Vietnam, UAE, Saudi Arabia. It goes on and on and on. We're small. We don't have legs to get out there. Alibaba gives us those legs where I can reach those buyers from all those countries and get the product to them. It's been great. I can't say enough about our experience with marketing. And again, we're a smaller firm, so we look to optimize our best value for the dollar on the advertising. And I just can't say enough. I've got the world at my fingertips, and it's easy. Once we figured the platform out, you know, we're sending quotes out, 20 quotes plus a month that we've been doing here, and we're doing quotes all over the world, and we're getting customers, and we're building up a reputation. There's a little bit of a learning curve up front, but it is well worth the effort. We have had great success, and we plan on continuing.
Denny, your story is fantastic. Your success has been amazing. So congratulations to you. Just to let the audience know, if you have any questions for Denny, please use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, and then we'll get to those questions at the end. So Denny, just to let us know, where is y'all's manufacturing based?
We're manufacturing, we're all American made. We manufacture in Brighton, Michigan is where the plant is located at. I'm I'm about 40 miles from the plant. I have my small business here where I do distribution locally and marketing locally, and I'm back and forth to the plant at times and basically all over the place.
Did you export your products before you got onto Alibaba.com?
No, we had not exported at all. Alibaba opened up a huge market for us. I guess you could call maybe exporting to Canada because they're right across the river here. We've had some Canadian orders, but nothing like the reach that I've got with Alibaba. One day I'll be putting in a quote for Saudi Arabia. The next day it'll be Israel. We've had sales there. Just quoting all over the place, and the customers, sometimes on a quote you might not win the quote. The customer, at that time might not want the product, but the advertising, you've planted the seed with that customer. Where I've had some that we quoted, all of a sudden months later have come back and said, hey, you told us about this product. We didn't have time then, but we have time now. Or maybe they didn't have the resources. Now they're interested and they're ready to buy.
When it comes to communicating with these overseas customers, is there challenges with the language, with the time zones?
Time zones get to be a challenge because they call me in the middle of the night sometimes. That's okay. The phone's on 24/7, as I say. So I've lost a few nights of sleep, but we don't mind. Actually, the Alibaba platform has the translation feature. It works great. Sometimes it gets a little sketchy sometimes when you're translating from one language to the next, but I can generally get like a 99% confidence factor with the translation that's done through the platform. I couldn't do that if I was talking over the phone to some of the folks or using other platforms. It's pretty seamless to us.
Got it. So you're mainly communicating with these overseas customers on the supplier app on your phone, right? It's just like texting with them.
Right. We have the app. I have the app on my phone, and we also use WhatsApp. A lot of folks will call on that on a telephonic call, mainly because it's inexpensive. It saves them money on their phone calls, and we have VoIP here, a VoIP line. So it doesn't matter. We can generally, if they want to reach us, we can talk to them. But the Ali app is excellent. I just had one like 30 minutes ago. Click, click, click like that. And here's my supplier, and it was from Emma Chen from China, and I'm talking with her about doing aerosols with our product. That was less than 30 minutes ago.
Oh wow. So this pallet that's going to Iceland, what's the process like? Since you said you never exported besides Canada before you joined Alibaba.com, was there a big learning curve? Is exporting hard?
The learning curve for us is because our product is considered a class 3 flammable, so the transportation of it internationally requires a little more work, and you have to be a little more diligent. We had to get IATA certified so that we can put the product on planes so that we can fly it worldwide, which was not so bad. It was a tough test that we had to take, but anyhow.
But it was worth it, yeah.
Iceland becomes a challenge because we put it on a pallet, we take it to a port in Maine, and then we load it on a ship. And from the ship, it gets trucked to Iceland. The challenge is always internationally for us has been the transportation mode to figure out how we're going to get it there. Is it going by air? Is it going by sea, or a combination? And we have to work through that. every country has different rules and regulations at times, so you have to quick read up on that. Possibly you have to check with your buyer if there's any restrictions coming in or an extra piece of paper that they require. All told, it's not been hard. It's just that you have to be thorough, and you have to stick to it and really push sometimes to get the paperwork through. But once you crack the code, it's not so hard. Once you get into one country on an export, most of the other countries are pretty much use the same thing. So you just kind of follow through. A lot of the forms that we use, we change them a little bit and we're good. Iceland's been a great market. We're doing the fishing boats and we're doing the fish processing areas, and now they want to coat a building with our product. So
Wow.
it's starting to grow there. Our product is such that once a customer uses it, they start thinking, I have 10 other uses where I can use this product. So it starts growing. For us, with a new customer, a lot of our customers will buy a small amount of product, what we call a pilot amount of material. They'll buy a couple gallons up front. They'll do their initial testing. We'll share test data with them. We'll talk back and forth, and then they'll come in and they'll start becoming a regular purchaser. So the first sale is important for us to get them on the right path on use of the product and pinning down exactly where we're going to save them money.
Got it. All right. So these overseas customers, is there a general profile for what they look like? Are they all end users of the product? Are they distributors? Are they people that want to private label and sell it in their own country?
We have a combination. We do private label. If any business wants to private label our coating, we can private label it. We have several doing that, and I've had a lot of buyers come in through Alibaba ask if we would private label. We said no problem. Our only issue with that is you have to give us the sticker to put on it. You have to give us the label or where we can print it locally, so that you meet the GHS standards internationally, which is no problem for the buyers. So that's not an issue. They typically, we're getting a lot of buyers, large firms that want to use the product. We are also getting distributors. I have the one in Iceland is now a distributor. He's distributing the product. The one in Israel is a distributor, and we have some others where they've stepped up. They like the product, and now, just like I initially started, I liked the product. I became a distributor and an owner. So they're doing the same. We have had regular commercial customers come in, either small business or individual customers buying product. They take a little more time on walking them through on use of a coating. We tell them if you can put paint on, you can put our coating on, and we'll spend a little more tech time with them. And we can tech time with them. We can WhatsApp them. We can talk with them on the Alibaba platform. We can video chat with them on the phone. We can WebEx, we can Zoom, we got them all, and whatever the customer wants, we'll do what it takes to keep that customer putting a product on safely and to keep them informed. We have found that our customer service is one of the most important features, that they can talk with us directly. It's hard to do that with some of the large firms. Tell us what you want to code. We'll walk you right through, and you can put us on the phone and video chat, and you can show me as you're coding if you want, and we've done that.
Amazing. Thank God for technology these days, right?
Absolutely. We had a case in China. They were putting the coating on and they weren't quite sure, so we video chatted. I had the video feature on, and I walked them through on their spray gun, and they got it. 10 minutes on the phone would have saved me probably hours going back and forth on email. So sometimes just that feature alone is fantastic for international sales.
Yeah, definitely hear you there. Well, what about domestically? Have you had any luck expanding domestically in the U.S. market through Alibaba?
Yeah, absolutely. we reached out to Alibaba to go worldwide, but it's amazing. All of the buyers in America are on Alibaba, and I'm getting American buyers hitting me for product. I just shipped last week to Florida. A customer on Alibaba had filled everything in, on his quote, and come to find out he's from Florida. And another customer, it's from the other side of the state of Michigan, from like 80 miles from here, on Alibaba, didn't hear about us locally, found us internationally on Alibaba.
Wow.
And we ship product to them, and it's just on the marketing. It's sometimes the buyers, for whatever reason, they couldn't find us locally. They found us internationally, which is great. We've had a lot of buyers, again, from all over in the States and the US, where we're getting buyers, and a lot are coming from Alibaba.
It's amazing. I think one of the things is, a lot of US buyers, they go to Alibaba.com looking for an international solution, but then they find US solutions. And if the US solution is superior, then it's an obvious choice to go with the US solution. All right, so I think it's about time for Q&A right now. Actually, I have one more question for you before we turn it over to the audience. And I think actually this is a question I see here from the audience, so it's perfect segue. So if you were talking to yourself 3 years ago, what advice would you give yourself about selling on Alibaba.com? Is there anything you would have done differently, or something you would have focused on more to maybe have a quicker path to success? Although you said you sold something in the first 30 to 90 days, so it can't get much quicker than that.
No, there's a learning curve on Alibaba. What I would encourage everyone to do is get your Alibaba rep right up front, and spend a little time getting your products loaded up. We loaded the products up. Now we've got to go back and we've got to do some fine tuning, but spend a little time up front learning the platform. You will continually learn. I probably don't use 20% of what the platform offers. I keep learning. It's constant learning. Alibaba has these every 2 weeks, the classes that are the little WebEx classes. They've been great. It's all free. You don't have to pay anything extra for the learning or the training. Use it. Use that right up front. Get in there quick. Get some, do quality photos. Spend a little more time up front, and load your products up and learn up front real quick, like on RFPs, on answering and getting that done, and get it on your phone right up front, so that you can talk with those customers. I can't emphasize that enough. I did okay. I think I should have maybe spent a little more time up front, but you're in a small business, you're putting out fires all the time. So you go from fire to fire. And so I kind of concentrated on getting loaded up, but I should have maybe spent a little more time there up front on learning a little bit more on the finesse. It's not a hard platform to learn. It's just, you guys spend a little time, a couple hours every evening would have probably helped me out a little better.
Got it. Well, thank you for that, Denny. But yeah, you mentioned the ASTE courses. We have training courses every 2 weeks, and it's led by the head account manager at Alibaba.com, Chad Michael Rayner. Really smart guy. He was actually a former seller on the platform, so he comes with a wide breadth of experience. So it's great to hear that you're attending those classes as well. All right, so we're gonna kick it out to the audience now. We have a bunch of questions in the Q&A, so I'm gonna get right to it. So we have one from Alexa. This is for you, Denny. They want to know, what transportation company do you use that helps you export your product?
I would recommend, the ones that I use are DHL, FedEx, and I have UPS. I have a couple other ones that I use that are like independents, Roleg, and a couple others that handle our area. Our transportation hub here is out of Detroit Metro for for air freighting, and there's a bunch of independents that I have. I highly recommend you get at least 3 transportation folks that will handle whatever you do. If you have ground shipment, air shipment, by sea, get 3 at least. That way you can always get 3 quotes and you can get the best price. I have found that you never want to have a single source. That just leaves you high and dry. If some of these shippers they'll be backed up. They can't take you for a small load sometimes. They'll say, we don't have space on the planes. So I'll go, okay, I got number 1 guy, I go to number 2 gal, number 3 person. I'll work my way through my laundry list of them, and I feed them a little bit of business to each one so that I'm current. But I try to keep enough in my my Rolodex of shippers so that they're competitive, and try to get the best rates, beat them down on the rates. You might fall into a group. Maybe you're some sort of different business group where they might cut you a better price on the shipping. Always look at that, and but expand your base out on that. Never have 1. That's the best recommendation. Always have 3.
Yeah.
DHL has been great. They've all been great, but they all have their nuances. And when you're flying air freight with them, they are so picky that if you put the pencil dot or the punctuation in the wrong spot, they'll kick the load back. It's that touchy on air freight. So learn if you're going to go air freight, become IATA certified and learn it. Or if you don't want to do any of that, there are many freight forwarders that you just turn it over to them and let them handle it. There is a cost for that. You'll have to weigh the business case out if it's worth you doing the headaches of shipping it or using a freight forwarder.
I hear you there. So we have another question. This one is, do you ever have your customers like arrange the freight? Basically, you sell EXW and then the customer picks it up from the warehouse and takes care of everything else?
I've had one do that where I used their account. I would love that. That makes my life so much easier. That is great, because they come to the plant or they come here of my sub place, either or. If it's a large shipment, we'll have it boxed right at the plant. We'll put it on a pallet and they'll pick it up. Yes, that would be great. I did have one. I advertise I'll use your shipper. I have no problems, but usually we've been pretty good on getting shipping rates at a pretty good discount. So I'll give them a price and they'll generally go with it. But yes, if you have somebody that wants to do that, take them up on them, because you just saved yourself some time.
Fantastic. All right. If you have any other questions, please use the Q&A function and we'll get to them. I do see we have a good amount of questions here. Some of them are more general about Alibaba.com. So we'll get to those questions a little later. If you have anything specifically for Dennis, please give us a shout out now. All right, we have another one from Cade. They want to know, have you done any business in South Africa?
I have not shipped there. I've done quotes there. I actually have spent time in South Africa, previous business, buying products and shipping it out of the country. I have been quoting there. I've sold in Kenya and a couple other areas, but not yet in South Africa. But I have been doing quotes. We'll sell product there. We have no problems. It's just I haven't had a buyer bite yet on the quotes that we have submitted.
Yeah, I think an interesting way to look at this question is, when you're exporting, are there real differences between exporting to country A and to country B, or is it pretty much all the same?
First thing you have to, if you're in the United States exporting, you have to check the State Department's list of countries that you can export to. So there's some countries that I've actually, like say Russia right now, we can't export to Russia, Iran, Cuba, some other countries we're not allowed. And then you'll want to check on what your code, your harmonization code, it's called. We're a 3909-50-100, and you want to make sure that there are no restrictions on your code for exports. That's important because some countries you're not allowed to export your product to. So be wary of that. And also, if you have an ITAR item, you have to do ITAR compliance, and there are restrictions on that. We are not ITAR, but our code is pretty much unrestricted for most countries, and you can pull that up. You with your code for your product, you can pull it up and check it versus what the State Department has for lists. But that's when you always want to make sure, if it's a new country that you haven't sold to, just do a quick double check on that, because you don't want to have worked it all up and get it ready to ship out, and they say, nope, you're not shipping it there.
Got it. Thank you for that. Yeah, there's lots of government resources online. You can get all the information that Denny mentioned, and talk to your freight forwarder if you have one. I'm sure they'd be able to help out as well. All right. So Erica asked, have you ever had a problem with a freight forward company? I think you mentioned a lot of this earlier, especially the importance of getting quotes from 3 different freight forwarders or shippers. It's always good to have a backup, and it's always good to have relationships with backups. So this way, if one does give you a problem, it's not the end of the world.
And always put insurance on your shipments. I cannot emphasize that enough. We had one shipment that they decided to spear it with a forklift. They didn't tell us about it, so we had insurance on it. Of course, it covered the product, but we also have liability insurance, because if our product spills, there could be a hazardous cleanup. So you want to make sure that you have insurance on yourself, your organization. We're very well insured because of that. We had no issues, but they didn't tell us about spearing it. So that came as a surprise and a quick cleanup with that shipper. So you'll have some challenges that will come up. Just hit them head on and fix it. So if something goes wrong, fix it. Get on it quick, resolve it, do whatever it takes. We found we shipped extra product. We didn't worry about the speared shipment. We boxed up another group, got it on a truck, took care of it, took care of the customer. Then we cleaned up the insurance mess. So keep the customer happy, and always fix it quick. It's not going to go away. It doesn't get better with age. It's not like cheese or wine.
Have you, sorry about that. Have you shipped to Mexico before?
Yes, Mexico is easy. We can UPS. So we can UPS ground ship to Mexico. Very easy to do. When it hits the border, they'll have to handle the customs there, but we click on the one button and they take care of the customs on their end. No problems. If they want it air-shipped, we can airship. DHL, UPS, and FedEx will airship to Mexico our product. We typically go ground shipping because it's cheaper.
Got it. Well, Denny, I believe we are coming to the end of our session. So again, thank you so much for sharing with us and with the audience today, all your insights, your experience, your professionalism. Your story is amazing. We wish you continued success in the future, and we hope that we see Nano-Clear everywhere around the world.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brett. It's a learning experience every day, and the one advice I could give to everyone is, if you should be learning every day. Continue to learn, because that's how you get better at it. You just keep plugging away and don't give up. Just keep plugging away.